What is CEO and Forbes billionaire Elon Musk's last warning to Russia, the aerospace industry's leading nation? In this video, you'll find out all about it, so make sure to stay tuned. Welcome to Elon Musk Rewind. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell icon to get updated with Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, and everything about Elon Musk. Elon Musk said artificial intelligence, or AI, could lead to a third world war in a recent ominous prediction. The comment was made in response to Russian President Vladimir Putin, who predicted that the first global leader in AI will rule the world. Meanwhile, SpaceX, which is pursuing the Starlink space program, is said to pose a threat to Russian security, according to Dmitry Rogozin, the director of Roscosmos. The discussion took place in light of the government's provision of about $900 million for SpaceX's Starlink program. Currently, the next budget will allocate approximately $20 billion in subsidies. According to Rogozin, a question was asked about the program. Why do the Americans need it? Further, Rogozin explained that this kind of spacecraft could be used to control cruise missiles, recalibrate their flight tasks mid-flight, control special forces, or even serve as an agent network. Defense Update examines why a Russian space chief thinks Elon Musk's Starlink satellite network might intercept cruise missiles. So Starlink brings internet access to the majority of the planet via satellite through SpaceX's constellation of satellites. And with its growing network of private satellites orbiting Earth, Musk's Starlink company aims to provide access to the internet for almost anyone on the planet. Over time, this constellation will comprise thousands of smaller satellites in low Earth orbit, or LEO, which will communicate with specific ground transceivers. Around 1,740 Starlink satellites have been launched by SpaceX, including the Tintin A and B demo satellites. In 2021, it was planned to launch up to 60 more Falcon 9 rockets per flight, at a rate of one launch every 2 weeks. As of 2019, SpaceX planned to launch 12,000 satellites in 3 orbital shells. The first shell will have 1,440 satellites at a height of 550 kilometers or 340 miles. As for the second shell, there are 2,825 Ku-band satellites at 1,110 kilometers or 690 miles, and 7,500 V-band satellites at 340 kilometers or 210 miles. It's possible that the number of satellites could reach 42,000 in the future. While cruise missiles are capable of traveling thousands of miles, the guidance systems they use to do so generally rely on satellites. For instance, Russian missiles with ranges of 1,500 kilometers or 930 miles, such as the 3M54 caliber cruise missile, use satellite data links in addition to many other systems. Meanwhile, Russia is concerned that Starlink could be used to insert incorrect navigation data into cruise missiles in flight. Additionally, Starlink satellites can be used as backups for dedicated military systems. Then, in the event of a war, several countries such as the US, Russia, China, and India may have anti-satellite weapons. To counter new Western assets, Russia has invested heavily in anti-satellite weapons, including anti-satellite missiles mounted on MiG-31 Foxhound jets and mobile missile systems mounted on S-500 trucks. As a result of a large number of satellites, these weapons may cease to be effective. According to Dmitry Rogozin, Starlink has the potential to serve as a means to broadcast Western propaganda, and the internet it delivered may have merely political and, most likely, anti-Russian content. The statement was made in response to legislation introduced by Russian legislators late in 2020 that prohibits Starlink's operations in the country. As a result, Russian internet traffic will be handled by Russian telecom operators. And what makes it interesting is, SpaceX has already collaborated with the US military. A test conducted by the United States Air Force Research Laboratory, or AFRL, in 2019 demonstrated a 610 megabits per second data link from an aircraft, the Beechcraft C-12 Huron, to ground control. And a Starlink connection was also successfully tested by the US Air Force on an AC-130 gunship in late 2019. U.S. Air Force personnel used Starlink for its Advanced Battlefield Management System during an exercise in 2020. In addition to the Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker, they demonstrated Starlink with multiple air and land assets. It's evident that collaboration is possible. Over the past decade, U.S. military strategy has changed to a greater focus on space warfare. In December 2019, a new branch was created called the Space Force. Currently, Russia has expressed its anxiety in numerous ways. In Associated Press reports, Almaz Antey, the head of a Russian defense contractor, said the U.S. Air Force's unmanned spaceplane X-37B is a secret space bomber equipped with nuclear weapons that can be dropped from orbit. Although this possibility has been raised before, this time it's coming from someone with expertise in this field. The X-37 and other aircraft that use similar technologies may be used to deliver nukes. Further, the Space Force is one venture that has the potential to be used for military purposes due to its space-related domain. According to the U.S. military, the company SpaceX's Starship vehicle will most likely be the one used for the rocket cargo program that could allow shipping heavy cargo around the world in less than an hour. As such, Russia and China have genuine concerns that SpaceX, and especially the Starlink program, could be used for military purposes with limited modifications. Adding to this is Starlink's rapid expansion with funding from the US government. Meanwhile, Russia's AI efforts are not just beginning. Its progress in this field, however, has been more obscure. These efforts are discussed in the context of Silicon Valley companies or top US universities, and while Russians have worked there, they are not the world's best-known names, nor are they the world's leading investors and thinkers. The IBM list of AI influencers contains only one native Russian speaker, Roman Yampolsky at the University of Louisville, who, like Musk, fears an imminent AI apocalypse, though he is originally from Latvia, not Russia. Further, Russians are terrible at commercializing and promoting technology. In 2016, an AI application, Prisma, which redraws photos to look like artwork by famous artists, went viral among post-Soviet nations and won some attention in the US, but fell short of becoming a global phenomenon. Despite Russian AI startups only being known to a few experts, many Russian information technology companies, for example Yandex and Mail.ru, are financing AI research and developing neural networks-based products. But in comparison, bigger Western rivals have achieved greater success. Russia's venture capitalists seem to be looking for AI opportunities abroad as well. Nevertheless, there is a great deal of AI research in Russia. Alexei Samsonovich of the Moscow Engineering Physics Institute is working on an AI program that is emotionally intelligent and is being used by the government to develop electronic government applications and military weapons. State-sponsored media have intensified their coverage of AI's potential military applications. In addition, a Kronstadt Group project will equip drones with artificial intelligence. Tactical Missiles Corporation is working on a similar effort to enhance missile defense, and the Kalashnikov combat module uses artificial intelligence. Details of these efforts are not public, and the agencies might be exaggerating the importance of them to achieve propaganda effects, as the Russian military is known to have experimented with network-centric warfare during its Syrian military campaign, so implementing AI technology is logical. Essentially, the military applications of AI in Russia outpace the consumer applications, just as they did in the Soviet Union. And considering the Silicon Valley-centric nature of their business, they do not face as many constraints as Russian private companies or academic researchers. As Musk rightfully pointed out, China isn't the only competitor of the United States when it comes to artificial intelligence whose capabilities are set to exceed those of Siri in the not-so-distant future. Elon's call last month for a worldwide ban on robotic weapons was timely, but likely unworkable. For instance, autonomous weaponry is far harder to detect, making a ban on them much harder to enforce than other weapons bans, even those that restrict certain forms of cyber warfare. In addition, countries such as China, India, and Russia are wary of any regulatory action taken by the West. The potential use of artificial intelligence to replace the human brain in civilian applications is much more dangerous than the use of AI in weapons. Before the technology can cause any mass unemployment, nations would be killing with AI. Therefore, Musk's warning and Putin's claim of global dominance based on AI should be taken seriously. That's all for this video about Elon Musk's Tesla and SpaceX, and thank you for watching. If you would like to receive updates about him, make sure you click the subscribe and bell icon.